Hello, tribe. I am Grandmaster Del Castillo, and I'm the founder and chief master instructor at Krav Maga Martial Arts. Today, I want to talk to you about the importance of measuring that which is important in our businesses and in our lives. And I'm going to come to a couple ideas leading up to that. First of all, I heard Grant Cardone say something the other day that I really liked. He said, "If it's worth doing daily." And look, that's probably not 100% true of everything. There are some worthwhile things that we do less than daily, but I think that it's another way of saying, somebody else said, I can't remember if it was Maxwell or somebody else once said, if you want to change the quality of your life, you got to change something that you do every day. The point of both messages really is that if it's important enough, it requires consistency. And that ties to the idea I really want to talk about today, which is that if it's important enough, it has to be measured. And by the way, this is hopefully obvious in business, although I must admit that I probably spent many, many years running this thing without really measuring the most important metrics, right? Like that's something that I probably have started doing well over the last 5, 6 years. The and it makes a huge difference. But I'm not even just talking about, for business owners, figure out what those things are. And we're going to talk, as I said, about lead and lag indicators and how that can be used in your business. But let's start by talking about the same in life. What you measure matters. What you measure, you can also control and affect. So, for example, I've started wearing this ring because it's awesome. Because like every morning, my wife and I get together and we're able to talk about the quality of our sleep. We know that the quality of our sleep is an important indicator of our health and our energy, and thus our performance and our longevity. And so, like this morning, it was cool because we both had 91s. That's of course good, right? Like it's a 100 point scale, so 91 is good. And I actually had time of sleep of 7 hours and 53 minutes. That's a good night's sleep. 95% sleep efficiency. I was in REM for an hour and 10 minutes, light sleep for 4 hours and 38 minutes, deep sleep for 2 hours and 5 minutes. All of that's important. It even measures my heart rate and my HRV, important health indicators. And of course, the what that allows me to do, just as it would in business or anything else worth measuring, is it allows me to see the patterns associated with certain behaviors and what things I can do to tweak. Like my HRV goes up with certain behaviors, as does the quality of my sleep. And it also lets you make decisions about the next day based on the thing, right? So the metrics are important. The metrics we know. Recently, I was listening to a study that was giving specific scientific evidence that people that live the longest always get 7 to 8,000 steps per day. 10,000, of course, being the number that everybody's heard, and the actual research does indicate that mortality rates go significantly down for any people that consistently do 7 to 8,000 steps per day. Isn't that something? Well, maybe then that's something that would be worth measuring. And in our businesses, of course, there are things that are equally vital to the health of our business. You know, praise God, we've been in business now for 24 years. We've been here for 24 years. It was October of 2000 that I first opened our martial arts academy, then called Namio Martial Arts. So it's changed names a couple times. It's what today is Krav Maga Martial Arts. But look, it's me and some great teams along those 24 years, to include the one I have right now, that and all the tribe and students and people. That's all the things that evolved to create a great martial arts academy. And the point of the story for this one is that sometimes in the early days, I succeeded in spite of myself. It was simply the passion and purpose and calling and the quality of the actual delivery of the service that allowed us to stay above water. But more sophisticated business principles, like actually measuring the things that matter, like I really started doing those in the last few years. Um, Today, I wanted to specifically talk about, all of that was the preamble. Today, I want to specifically talk about the difference between lead and lag indicators. It was a training that I gave to my team last week, and we created a chart and everything to support it for these last 10 weeks of the year. And here's what it means. Too often in our fitness, in our finance, or in our business, other things too, I'm sure that this message will apply. We're looking at lag indicators. Lag indicators means it's too late to really affect the result. That's what the lag indicator reports is the result, right? The lead indicators are the behaviors and activities that we know are closely enough associated to that we can make a reasonable assumption that there is causation to, not just correlation, but also causation to the result. So, in other words, we know, for example, when we're trying to grow our school and make more uh, potential students know about the great work that we do, we know that the more community events we make, the more calls we do, the more the more times that we can have our students refer, because our best students come from our best students. So when our students are referring to us, or we have buddy events, or right, like there's certain things we know that if we do more of those things, outgoing phone calls, if we do more of those things, there is a good chance that then we get more intros, which equals more enrollments as well. And of course, when we're taking the measurements, they also allow us to determine what areas we need to work on the actual quality of the process, like perhaps the ratio from intro to enrollment needs to be worked on. But ultimately, if we manage the lead indicators, it gives us a better picture of what's likely to happen on the lag indicators. And let's take it out of business for the sake of everybody else. We can go to fitness because everybody can do fitness. And what's the obvious lag indicator that most people track in fitness? Your weight. Now, we can make an argument. We could go deep into rather that, because it was something that I've really had to put focus on. For much of my life, I've struggled with my weight, and I've been able to, in recent years, get much better at that as well, understanding certain things, measuring certain things, controlling certain things. Anyway, the point of the story is that the weight is really just the result. Just like probably the weight is actually a symptom of underlying health problems, underlying bad decisions, much more than it is, a problem. But I heard somebody say the other day, I think it was Benazidi on a podcast, said, the weight is the symptom of the problem, not the problem. And he was saying the problem in that talk, he was actually talking about I forget what it's called. Your inflammation. Inflammation. He was talking about inflammation caused by eating the wrong kinds of food and lack of activity, and how that causes the weight gain, not the other way around. Not the point of this story, though. But what is that whereas you can't control the weight directly, that's a report, that's a lag indicator. You can control whether you go on your walk every day, whether you make your martial arts classes, whether you're doing any strength training, and certainly, what kind of foods you're eating. Are you eating lots of highly processed foods? Whichever particular diet you choose to be on, or if it's none, if you're just to cut out, high sugar foods, and then probably seed oils too, and highly processed foods, and make a significant if you tracked those lead indicators, or whichever ones you choose, that would make a significant difference on the lag indicator, which is the result. So all this meant to illustrate the idea that we want to, if we truly want to make improvement in any area of our lives, one, we have to measure, but two, we have to measure not just the results, because you can't control results. You can control activities. And that is what we mean by lead indicators. When I do more of this, I get better at that. I hope that this has been clear and helpful. And I look forward to seeing you real soon. Prepare to live, empower to lead. I'm Grandmaster Del Castillo, Krav Maga Martial Arts. Make it a great day.